I've been daily driving Flow Launcher for a while now, but I kept seeing alternatives to it, so I decided to find out if it was time to switch to something else. Starting off with PowerToys. It's clean, minimal, and honestly, kinda boring. Nothing really stands out in either a good or a bad way. 3 out of 5. Next contender is Raycast, and I absolutely love how it looks. I'm a huge fan of this frosted glass aesthetic, and Raycast has the transparency tune perfectly straight out of the box. 5 out of 5. Now, as for Flow Launcher, since I have been using it for a while now, I have it customized and don't know how to revert it back to default. So, we are gonna have to go off of this picture in the settings, and it kinda just looks like PowerToys Run, but slightly worse. I can't quite pin down what's wrong, but it just feels off. Scrolling the settings also feels really choppy, so I'm gonna deduct some points for that as well. 2 out of 5. Also, I'll be tallying up all these points, so make sure you watch till the end. It's important to clarify here that calling them app launchers kinda undersells what they are. These are, in a way, full productivity tools, and you'll see why in just a second. PowerToys Run comes with all the standard plugins you might expect. Plugins are basically what gives these tools their functionality. The most common ones that most people will be using though are the file navigation and app launcher. There are other pre-installed ones as well, which will cover 99% of the users. But if you want more, then you can just download third-party extensions as well, which has a pretty good library. But this selection pales in comparison to the launchers that come up next. 3.5 out of 5. Raycast has a slightly different set of plugins pre-installed, but nothing that really sets it apart yet aside from maybe the emoji plugin. Where it really pulls ahead though is in its external plugins. If you go into the store, you can see that there are hundreds of plugins in just the store alone, excluding the ones you might find separately in GitHub and Reddit. And all these choices are great if you know what you are looking for, but if you are just browsing, looking for new plugins to try, then it might be a little overwhelming. 4.5 out of 5. Flow Launcher is a good middle ground between these two. It has all the features I normally use like the file navigation, app launcher, emojis, and calculator pre-installed. And the plugin store is also pretty vast, filled with useful as well as fun plugins like the Pokédex plugin which lets you search a Pokemon quickly. How cool is that? So overall, 4 out of 5. This is one area where PowerToys Run really lags behind. It only has the bare minimum options like light and dark mode and changing the font size. Basically, no room for personalization. 1 out of 5. Raycast is also kind of a mixed bag. It has some more features like changing the color scheme, and it also has a theme studio where you can make custom themes or download other people's themes to use. But this is also exactly where the problem starts. As you can see, it says that it's free during the beta, so it's safe to assume that this will be a paid feature when the tool fully releases. Assuming that's the case, I'll give it a 2 out of 5. It could be much higher if it stays free, but that's pretty unlikely. Flow Launcher, on the other hand, is as good as it gets when it comes to customization. You can edit your themes just like in Raycast, except it is and always will be free to use, and also has a much larger library of third-party themes. You can see just how different my current setup looks from the default options. If you'd like to see my exact configuration, then let me know in the comment section. As for its score, 5 out of 5. Reliability can mean different things to different people. If you're talking about stutters and crashes, then none of these had any issues like that. So, I'm gonna be evaluating them on how accurately they can find the file or app I'm looking for. I'll be looking for 3 things: a specific folder, my browser, and my editing software. PowerToys Run put the folder below the web search, but other than that, it worked perfectly well. 5 out of 5. Raycast felt a little cluttered with the whole folder path written rather than just the name, along with it putting one of its pro feature on top. It also didn't put DaVinci Resolve on top, but these launchers learn from your usage and reorder the result depending on what you use frequently. So it will get better as you use it. All things considered, again a 5 out of 5 as it did find all the things I needed, and the ordering will get better as you use it. As for Flow Launcher, it had a little more difficulty finding the folder as I had to search the exact name to not get random results. It might be user error on my side though, as I have changed the search config, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. As for the other two things, it worked flawlessly. 5 on 5 across the board for this category. This is a section which can make or break a launcher, especially on a lower end system. And this is also the section where I got my biggest surprise as well. PowerToys Run came in about 250 MB RAM usage. CPU usage was negligible across all three, so RAM is the only thing I'll be looking at. It's worth noting that disabling the plugins which you don't use can reduce the usage by a good amount. PowerToys Run gets a 4 out of 5. Potentially a 5 on 5 if you only use a select few plugins. Raycast is the one that surprised me the most. While testing, the total usage came to around 300 to 400 MB, which gives it a 3 out of 5. It was almost a 1 out of 5 though. I saw it spike to nearly 700 MB at a point, but that seemed to be a one-off thing, so I'll let it slide. Flow Launcher had a similar issue, except it was the opposite of Raycast. While testing, I got around 130 MB usage, which itself is really good, but while daily driving, I have seen it go down to just 70 MB. Easy 5 out of 5. Now, it's time to reveal the rankings. In third place, we have PowerToys Run with 16.5 points. This is just a cookie cutter option for those people who want to try out these launchers for the first time. In second place, we have Raycast with 19.5 points. And in first place is Flow Launcher with 21 points. Now, between Raycast and Flow Launcher, the gap is so small that depending on your specific needs and how Raycast on Windows continues to develop, especially if the theme studio stays free, then there is a strong argument to use Raycast over Flow Launcher. Another reason to use Raycast would be if you're willing to pay for the Pro subscription, which definitely adds more functionality than Flow Launcher. But as for me, I'll be sticking with Flow Launcher. If you'd like to see me compare more tools like this, then make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.